brunch is my favourite meal of the day if I can fit it in between breakfast and lunch. I've made homemade crumpets. They're really easy. We've got a Prosecco and blood orange Spritz and a gorgeous vanilla ricotta strawberry platter. Come along, I'm going to show you how to get all of this done so you can have your friends over and enjoy a brunch with them. And we are heading into brunch o'clock, and I am going to make crumpets from scratch, which people probably think is really difficult, but is actually so easy. Starting with activating some yeast, just over some warm water. Just let it sit there, it will bloom, it'll take about 5 minutes. You can see it happening already. And while we're waiting for that to activate, I will just throw together the dry ingredients. We've got plain flour, baking powder, a little bit of sugar, and that helps the yeast activate as well, and some salt, just to balance out a little bit of flavour. And we just whisk the dry ingredients together so that they're well combined. Once the yeast is activated, we're all good to stir this through our flour, and we're adding as much of 2 cups of warm water as we need to make a sticky dough. Then we're literally going to set it aside somewhere a little bit warm and leave it to activate for a little while. And then when this beautiful crumpet dough is ready, it will be nice and bubbly and light. That's about the consistency we're looking for. And I'm going to cover that with a tea towel and pop it somewhere sunny. So this has been sitting, and you can see how bubbly and light that batter is now. And it's a slow cook in a pan. If you have egg rings, that's the perfect thing to put your crumpets in. I don't have egg rings, so I'm using just a really small springform cake tin, which I'm going to put in this heavy based pan. And I'm just going to brush it with some butter, and then these are going in here, and it's just a slow cook for about 10-15 minutes for these crumpets. So you'll make them in batches, and while I'm waiting for these to cook, I'm going to get on with the next part of my brunch. While these gorgeous crumpets are cooking, we might as well get on with making a fruit platter, and fruit platters do not need to be boring. Don't just chop up some fruit and throw it on a plate. Let's give it some thought. So I've got a little bit of inspiration for you today. I'm just going to top some strawberries, and these will be the star of our fruit platter. So we're layering flavour. That's my favourite thing to do. Don't just throw the strawberries on a plate. We're deciding what's going on the bottom, the middle and the top. We're having a vanilla ricotta on the bottom of this plate, and then we're having the strawberries. And then I have made just an infused simple syrup. So this one has basil leaves, and all we're doing is popping in half water, half sugar, big handful of basil, and then you bring it to a simmer, turn it off and let it seep. And then we're just pouring it off and getting rid of the basil leaves. And it'll have a lovely fresh flavour, and that is going to go over the strawberries. I've just checked on my crumpets, and they are still cooking away. They're looking really golden on the bottom, but they need to cook through a little bit more. So I'm going to just do a vanilla ricotta. I've got soft ricotta here, and I'm putting in just a little bit of icing sugar, not too much, and a little bit of vanilla paste. You could use vanilla bean if you wanted to, and we're just going to give that a little mix until it's well combined. For the base of the platter, I've mixed together some smooth ricotta, just with some vanilla and a little bit of sugar for sweetening, and I'm just going to place it on the platter and give it a really gentle spread, just to make a nice little bed for the strawberries to sit in. And then we are just going to load our strawberries up onto this platter, It doesn't have to be even, it can be really nice and organic. Let them fall where they may. Let the chips fall, I say. And then we're going to take some of that beautiful basil syrup and just dress the strawberries so that they've just got a little touch of sweetness and a little hint of that fresh basil. And then for crunch, shop-bought meringues, no big deal. You can make them if you want. But when you've got friends coming over, it's nice to just relax and not be exhausted by the time they arrive. So popping those on the platter. And then I've just got some baby basil from the garden. So I'll pop that on there, just for a bit of colour, wherever you like. And that is a really sweet little platter ready to go on your table. So the great thing about having a brunch is that it's a fabulous opportunity to drink before lunchtime. And I am making a gorgeous blood orange spritz today because blood orange are in season and they're so pretty. I'm going to rim the glass with just a little bit of sugar and some zested blood orange, just part of it, not all the way, and just gently, just so it's just got a little bit of the zest on one side of the glass. Just pop it in some water and then run it through the sugar and the zest. Then we're popping in ice. We're going to reuse that basil syrup, just popping a little bit in there. We're hitting it with some gin. Love a free pour. I have juiced a couple of the blood oranges, so this will have such a gorgeous colour. And if anyone asks, yes, I am drinking juice. And then we're going to top it up with a bit of Prosecco. Best in a tall glass because the bubbles. And then just because we're really well behaved, we'll tone it down a little bit with some soda water. And we can finish it off with mint if we feel so inclined. So you can tell that the crumpets are done when they're dry all the way through and the bubbles have come up through. But what I want to do is take them out of here and flip them over in a bit of brown butter in the pan and just get a little caramelisation on the top of this crumpet. The crumpets, and I just wanted to show you a few ways that you can serve them, sweet and savoury. So we have caramelised bananas on mascarpone with some maple syrup. Then we've topped some with bacon for those people who like to go all the way. We've got some cinnamon apple and just a little bit of yogurt, and then we've done goat's cheese and some heritage tomatoes. Absolutely beautiful.
Show it home, mate. I feel like I'm eating dinner or what?
Oh my God. This is dinner.